Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
What's good, Josh? Your boy FX Jarrett A in it big. This video is gonna be a little different from the other ones because again we are journaling our progression with Forex because why not? So this day we took a little L on our accounts. Mind you, I am fully funded $300,000 and I took a little L, I ain't gonna lie. And again, this channel is for straight up transparency. And some days I did end up taking an L, like not today, but prior, but I did end up recovering it like pretty much immediately with the same trade that I actually wanted it to. That's how I wanted it to go. I just needed to wait a little longer. So someday I don't really talk about it too much unless I recover it. If I don't recover it like today, I'll talk about it. So today was actually a pretty L day. It was $2,000 on the 100K account and $3,000 on the 200K account. And I decided to risk a little bit, just a tad bit more. And this just ended up not doing the best. I did fall asleep on this trade too, by the way. That's what I usually do because again, if I'm doing everything right, I can go set and forget. I can leave this trade alone. So let's go on the chart and let's figure out what happened. Yo, so we are now going to talk about how we had a big L day. Oh my God. We should not be taking 5K Ls. We should be having like combined normal, no more than $3,000 Ls. No more than 3K Ls. That should be normalized. No more than 3K Ls. 5K Ls are absurd. So we are going to describe how I got caught in a consolidation. I got caught so bad in a consolidation. So this all price ended up doing. Price was stuck here. Price was stuck here. So I don't know. My trading time starts at 2 o'clock. So we didn't start trading, but we was definitely looking for a trade around 2 o'clock. So at this point in time, we was looking at this, right? We got a support level here, we have a support on the higher time frame, and then we got the temporary support and resistance areas because these are two areas where price is at currently. So in the midst of all this, I'm like, I am definitely biased towards the buy. Just looking left, right? We are in a new area of interest, so we should be looking at buys. But as of right now, the way my brain is set up for trading, anything that goes up will come down, and everything that goes down will come up. So in this situation, I always look at trades like this, for some type of pullback where it could be here, it could be here, it doesn't matter. I'm looking for a pullback to probably re-enter this atmosphere for a pullback and continuation. That's how my brain is pretty much hardwired. I'm trying to like normalize that this is not always going to happen. So for me to recognize to accept for that to happen, I need to see data in the market stating that this doesn't happen all the time. So in this situation, I was biased towards the buy at first, and this is me kind of breaking my rules because I have a rule set in place for me to never switch biases like this. Let me explain. This is why I'm journaling. I'm being real with myself and being real with you guys because now I'm building an audience. So price was getting ready to potentially buy up, but I definitely seen price not buying up. I was potentially looking at sells in this situation. In low key, high key, I was most definitely right because later on the weekend it did end up selling. So in this situation, I was looking at sells at first. at first. Sales was the first thing that came to my mind due to the fact that it just makes sense. So I had this hear me out, guys. I had this temporary trend line right here. Mind you, it's quite stupid because it's already kind of like in a consolidation rather than, you know, some type of trend line. The trend line was valid, but it did end up consolidating. So the way I was looking at it was super temporary, and that was my fault for looking at it at a temporary standpoint. So at first it was looking at a sell, and the sell looked like a stretch until I seen the hour time frame potentially having a bearish engulfing right here, and it was a bearish engulfing. As you can see, it was a doji, and the doji that falsely tried to break above here gave me a high indication that I needed to sell and to potentially sell on the engulfing of that. And on the smaller time frame, as you can see, or as you've seen, I was selling. So I did end up taking a sell at 653. I did end up taking a sell right here, and I obviously had my stop loss above here, and I had my take profit actually quite far because I'm kind of interested on the longer term sell. That was my original trade. And then little did I know, price definitely did fulfill its prophecy. It's just I was not thinking this. I wasn't thinking like overall, let me wait. I was thinking short term. My brain kept on saying this is short term, this is short term, this is short term. I was just kept yelling at myself in my head, and price actually had a sell off like I wanted, but I did end up taking a very small L like right here around this area. And because I just didn't like the trade anymore, regardless of what the result was going to be in price. And I ended up getting a buy because I'm like, okay, this is better because of the trend direction. And this is why I have a rule set in place for me not to do this. 629. I have a rule for me to specifically never to ever change my analysis around like this, because it can just ruin your like train of thought. My stop loss was very wide for obvious reasons because I wanted to give him more breathing room, but I messed up so bad just like changing my analysis for one, because my original thought, if I look on the market real quick, I typically am right like 95% of the time. It's just the simple fact of execution has a lower probability of being, it has a higher probability of being wrong rather than the overall decision. And that's due to the fact that just the entries. I ended up getting a buy here, right here, and as soon as I left, I was up a few $100, and then price just absolutely just went crazy. And the original analysis was the sell, correct? Actually, hold on, let me bring it back. Original analysis was the sell. I'm actually gonna bring that buy back. Of course, it was at 69 or 60. Original trade was right. My original sell was obviously correct, as you can see, but price just did that, and I was down $3,000. So looking back at my original analysis, this is why I always have original analysis as a rule, and never to switch up your analysis unless it completely breaks on the 1 hour of an area of interest. Unless if it breaks either side, then if it breaks up on the hour and follows up on the 4 hour, then you have the idea to potentially buy up and continue to buy up. But if it doesn't break up, my original idea was a sell, so you're going to stick with that idea until it plays out. That's literally like my rule set in place for myself. And as you can see, obviously we end up losing anyway. It would have been an L anyway. That's just how the market is sometimes. And that was my L. Not this, but both of them, yes. But I end up taking a small L like right here because I just was yelling at my head. I was yelling at myself like, this is too temporary. This is way too temporary. We need more data at this area because this is just super temporary. But I did end up taking the overall loss over here, And we could have made something if we would have had a better entry, and the better entry starts with deleting the trend line, in my opinion, because if we didn't have the trend line, maybe it'd have been like this. Who knows? Maybe it'd have been better. Maybe. Who knows, bro? Who knows? Maybe it'd have been something like that. But again, you still would have lost because price still ended up staying in this area, and I'd have just stayed in that trade for all damn day. So overall lesson of the day: original analysis, no temporary zones. Temporary zones was that trend line in the consolidation that you already knew of. But as you can see, price did react to this trend line, and it was valid. But again, it was too temporary, so it just didn't hold as strong as it could have held up. We still lose. We're human, and it's part of the game. It doesn't really bother me too much. I woke up with a notification that said stop loss. I was disappointed, but I moved on because I knew whatever, if the stop loss was hit, we have a big day loading up, and we did, but we didn't capitalize as much as we were supposed to, which I'm very upset with. But it was because of news actually wanted to step in. But we're going to talk about that in the next video. So in this video, again, we do take L's, but we didn't take an L for long. We only are down about $600 on the 100K account and $1,000 on the 200K account. Let's see if we make a comeback. I'll see you guys in the next video. Instagram handle is down in the description. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.